crowd indeed. And Wellington has turned on a great day for this encounter, Australia versus the United States of America. Plenty of gold in the crowd, and we're just about set to welcome the teams out onto the paddock. The Pukaya call goes out. The roar goes up from the crowd. We're just about set. Genia leading the Wallabies for the very first time. He's the third Wallaby captain in 2011. Rocky Elsom and James Horwell has led the team this year. And Genia becomes the 13th Australian captain at the Rugby World Cup. Great scene here. Pittman, Field and Fry up front for the USA. Lavella, Smith, the Penrith-born lock. Vasori, Danahy, Raggiano, Usaz, Malifa, Sifa and Osa, the two American Samoan centres. Swearin and Hawley on the wings, and Scully as the fullback. Slipper, Pilota now, Alexander. Simmons and Sharp back together in the locking positions. Elsom, McKelman gets a chance to redeem himself after last week's performance that didn't really go to plan. Paolo, Genia, Cooper, Horn for Enga. Adam Ashley Cooper, 11 on his back last week, 14 this week. Mr. Versatile. And the reserves, Moore, Kepu, Vickerman, Samo, Burgess, Barnes, McCabe for the Wallabies. McClenaghan, who had a stint with Sydney University in the lower grades, learning the hooking craft. Moa Kiola, Stanfield, Johnson, Petrie, Suniula and Wiles. Eddie O'Sullivan, the Irish coach, and he was in charge of Ireland at the Rugby World Cup 2003 and 2007. And, of course, Robbie Deans is assisted by David Nusafora, Jim Williams, Phil Blake, Patricio Noriega, and all of those gentlemen under some pressure after last week's loss to Ireland. So a crowd in excess of 30,000. You can see the Wallaby supporter groups amongst it. We're just about set for the national anthems. Well, plenty of support for the American Eagles in the crowd. And what a moment for Australian-born Tim Hughes has, his first anthem as captain. Australia needing to win 5 games on the trot if they are to win the Webb Ellis Cup. They haven't won 5 straight since 2008, and all of them were on Aussie soil. Joining Phil Kearns and Mardo, myself tonight on the sideline in Wellington is Rod Kafer. Good atmosphere, Rod.
Great atmosphere. The anthems were wonderful, weren't they? The big pro-US crowd really got stuck into it. James Horwell's here on the sideline. Actually, you'll see him in a moment. He's running water. He's got both ankles strapped, not taking any risks. But the Wallaby captain's going to be the water boy tonight. And looking forward to it. Just had a chat to him. He said they've had a good week. They're really excited by this game, and a lot of guys with points to prove out there tonight. So everybody looking forward to it. It should be a wonderful match.
The Americans need to compete early on, Mardo.
Well, there's no doubt they will. There's Basori there in the background. Mexican, came to live in America and now finds himself the fittest member of this squad. He'll be wearing jersey 6. Quite simply, it's the one and only game for some of these players at the World Cup. They will get into it at the start. Whether or not they can compete when the game wears on, that's going to be decided soon.
Referee is Nigel Owens from Wales. Television match official Tim Hayes from Wales. And the assistants on the touchlines, Wayne Barnes of England and Vinnie Munro from New Zealand. Pool C, Rugby World Cup 2011. Wellington Regional Stadium. Australia just 4 tries so far in this tournament, and that's the least by any Wallaby team after 2 games at a Rugby World Cup. The Wallabies hoping to be back at this venue for a quarter-final in a fortnight. The countdown is on to kick off. We're underway. Quade Cooper kicking off, and the Americans allowing it to bounce, but they managed to tidy up just in the nick of time.
Yeah, they're all looking at each other, waiting for someone else to catch it.
Oh, the big Lavalley let it go, the second rower.
And Usays puts it into touch around about the 10-metre mark, so we don't have to wait long for the first of the lineouts. And it wasn't a pass mark at the lineout last week either, was it?
No, it wasn't. Well, a little bit toughly done by Tatafo. No, there was 1 or 2 crooked ones, and then he had a third one called not straight, which was absolutely a perfect throw.
And that's a good start, and Rob Horn, hammered there.
What a collision to start the game in midfield. Rob Horn slowly gets up. He was hit by Gargiano.
And they take the tap quickly. Genia, not a good pass, and there's a mistake early on.
Oh, they're off the line so quick.
Well, we saw that, didn't we, in the game against Ireland. The Americans, one thing they do well is come off that line to put some pressure on, but that was just a poor pass and wasted opportunity.
Well, Cliffy Parlour was 3 wide of where the pass was going to go, so he was not expecting it.
And it means that it is a penalty to the Eagles. And they'll find touch just in front of Rod Kaper.
A little bit of dew on the ground in there, Kafe, or not too bad?
No, there's definitely some dew on the ground, Phil. It is a little bit wet, and both teams will need to watch that. I mean, the USA have actually got a blueprint now of how to play against the Wallabies, and it revolves around getting off the line quickly, trying to upset Will Genia, try to stop their runners. Wallabies need to think about the tactics that they should use in this game to thwart that. It might be early kicking.
Oh, flat ball to Malifa.
And so the American Eagles have good field position, and they cough it up. It's going to come back for the Wallabies. They go to the short side, and Cooper, well, he coughs it up, so he was playing advantage, fortunately, but yeah, it looks to be a little nervous at this stage, Kate.
Yes, they look that way. Curtly Bill's on the field. There's a bit of chat going on in front of me now, just saying, calm down, everyone. Let's just take our time. You can see the little knock on here by Tim Eustace. Ball's just spilt forward, and then Anthony Finger threw that right at the back shoulder from Quade Cooper. Not an easy one to take. Yeah. I'd like to see the Wallabies, they sometimes get themselves caught playing a couple of different game plans. Are they a kicking team or a running team? They need to really determine what they are, the Wallabies, and go out and execute it.
They have a heavier pack, and Palu gives it to Genia, and he wants to play it at the other end. And it's been picked up by Blaine Scully, the fullback. It's not out, so Genia fires it across to Cooper. He goes really wide now to Drew Mitchell. Got a room to move, and Mitchell can't find a way through. Taken on the 10-metre mark, and the men in goal pour in. Now it goes to Faanga and Horn down the short side. Cooper. Not his best kick. Across it goes to Kevin Swiren. Driven back.
Cliffy Parlow, good tackle.
And they got the ball away.
This is Scully, the fullback.
Well, the right winger, in fact, Hawley. Now the kick across field. And into touch.
Did he touch it? He doesn't think so. Play on.
So it's play on. Adam Ashley Cooper. Genia. 3-on-2 down the short side. Quick hands and straight into touch. So it was good defence by Junior Seifer. He rushed up on Quade Cooper. So, well, it's not the start the Wallabies were hoping for. Not fluid, Phil.
No, I think that there was one thing I liked about that, not about this, there was not a lot I liked about that. Rocky was actually a bit too flat. But previously the pass from Anthony Fainga to Cooper was a bit of a shocker. Hit his sort of behind his right shoulder, and I liked it when Quade ripped into him because that means he's focused. Quade saying, not good enough for me, I want it better tonight. And when he's demanding and takes that leadership role, he plays better.
So line out win by American, no.
Yeah, went to the outside shoulder, no doubt. Americans complaining, but it was obvious where the jumper caught it. You have a look.
Yeah, it's a shocker, but the referee should be getting a big gap in the line out, not allowing them to close like that.
I will do. There was no problem in the last scrum. It was good. Okay.
So 5 minutes gone, 0-0.
That's good.
Let's see what the Wallabies do in terms of their pattern of play now. Last week they went to the sort of same way pattern where their forwards just fold around the corner and they keep going to one side. I like the Wallabies a lot better when Will Genia makes choices about running back to the short side or going the same way. Not a fan of their sort of preconceived pattern that they've used. It just hasn't really worked for them in the last 18 months.
Once they're in, straight away in. I'll deal with any issues afterwards. A middle, please. Hold the engage. Just a split second. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Genia gets it in quickly. Gives it to Cooper. And again, he kicks. In the middle of the park this time. Hawley takes it. And Rob Horn is around his bootlaces. Says waits for it. Giving it out to Sean Pittman. Plays his rugby for London Welsh, the loose-head prop. And through the hands out wide now. That's Swiren. Says to Basori. Says having a dart.
Gee, needed to let that go wide. The Wallabies were short defenders. They've still got two front rowers and a second rower in the back defensive back line.
Gagliano goes to ground. Says with the box kick.
Here's a chance for the Wallabies to throw it to his left, and does.
Picked up by Cooper, who starts to move. Quade Cooper. Dummies on the inside, still going, gives it to Beale. Beale straightens and now gives it to Rob Horn, and he's over! Welcome back, Rob Horn.
Whoa, what a try by Horn. It was a worry that he could have been bundled over in that corner tackle. Yeah, the referee Owens has given it. There was no doubt. Horn stayed strong and staunch as he planted it with his left hand, but it came from the kick. We'd already seen Beale take it up. Cooper takes off, throws a lovely dummy on the inside, allows him to go. Beale, what a position he put himself in. Drew Horn gave him as much room as he could, and he was good enough to go over in the tackle of Scully.
Yeah, it was beautiful from Quade Cooper. He just saw the forward running out there. You can see him still with the beard in the background, still chasing, ineffectual, but he's chasing. And that was the man that Quade Cooper and Curtly Beale picked on. It's terrible they pick on fat blokes, I tell you.
But didn't Horn do well to absorb the blow from the fullback? He had all the rights, the Scully coming across on the angle. Probably should have touched. He's bulked up a bit, Rob Horn, in his absence while he's been recovering from the injury. That was good strength.
Well, it was the thing I was worried about was the three Wallaby-type forwards in the defensive line. And that could have been a problem for us if the US run it. But they kicked instead, and that gave the Wallabies a chance to attack the tight forward on out wide.
Here's a change. Curtly Beale taking over the kicking duties from Quade Cooper, who has been kicking in James O'Connor's absence. So no O'Connor tonight, but Cooper handing it over to Curtly Beale. Can he convert Rob Horn's first ever test try in his 7th international? Difficult one first up from near the touchline. He can't.
And that's going to continue to be one of the Wallabies' problems, goal kicking. Didn't get close. Yeah, those two, you've gone to all the trouble. You might as well get on telly.
But a good try, Cave.
Really good. Nice to see Quade Cooper and Curtly Beale then electing to counter-attack and run the ball. They're so much better with the ball in hand. I think I expect every time they get an opportunity to counter-attack tonight, they will. They're such a potent force in that broken field running.
So Drew Mitchell safe under the restart. 5-0 Australia over the USA. Back it goes to Quade Cooper. And
Gaggiano had a go at hanging onto it infield, but then he ended up dropping. His feet were in the right position, his hands were in the right position. His skill wasn't on target.
Can I tell you what impresses me about this US team, and Kate, you might want to comment, but when they hit you, you stay hit.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. One of the toughest and a real physical side is the Wallabies, and Rob Horn feels the pressure again in the middle of the field.
It's because of the NFL influence they hit so hard, but if you sidestep, they sometimes find it difficult. Beale wide and clear.
And he's through the gap, just ankle tapped, and he looks over and he gives it to Palu. Gee, that had 5 points written all over it, but the ankle tap was successful. The Americans are offside, so they're playing advantage on the 22. Genia, he gets it to Cooper. Cooper out the back door to Mitchell. Elsom throws a dummy, and Rocky Elsom is going to score the second try.
Well worked the whole way. A good team try. Featured a bit of everything. First out wide, Curtly Beale. The ball went wide, second line of runners. Beale emerged out of the pack and got wide. Just got ankle tap. Gave it to Palu. He had an opportunity. James Slipper got a chance to crash up in centre field. The Wallabies kept going forward and kept going straight, which is where they got the room on the other side. This is the start of it. Look at Beale. Slips behind the decoy runner. Oh, the defence just got him. Palu did the safe thing, and that's how we got to this position where, again, second liner runner, decoy runner, Mitchell hid behind, and then Rocky Elsom benefited.
It was a fantastic dummy run here from Rob Horn, who sucked in a defender who gave so much space for Drew Mitchell to do his stuff and pop that ball to Rocky Elsom. Rob Horn just changed his running line, sucked in the defender and just opened the whole thing up.
I'd call that clinical when you think that came from a scrum 58 metres out.
Well, if Beale wasn't ankle tapped on the far side, he had Adam Ashley Cooper unmarked, so it would have been a try on the right-hand side in the end. It went through the hands, and Elsom scored his 14th test try in his 72nd match for the Wallabies.
Now Quade's taken over the kicking.
Well,
they call him public enemy number one over here in New Zealand, or that's paper talk, so therefore the crowd thinks they better get into it.
Quade Cooper, will it come round? No, this one's out to the right, so yeah, the goal kicking woes continue. They're going to have to start making those at the business end of a tournament.
Yeah,
10-0.
You're right. You're right, but everyone's struggled, haven't they, in that department in this tournament?
Twice there, Cave. Decoy runners were the key. The Americans falling for that runner on the inside. They're holding their ground and the room's on the outside.
Yeah, nice little 5-man line-out play there. Ticket sales have been really boosted by the New Zealand public's dislike for Quade Cooper. An extra 5,000 people here tonight just to boo him.
10-0 and a high kick there from Genia. Usaz can't take it. Offside. In front of the player that knocked it on.
Gee, I thought McCalman got most of the arm on that one.
I tell you, it's fabulous, this Quade Cooper story, and because they do hate him here. And they have a national talkback radio program here on Rugby with the 4 million coaches that they've got in this country. And just about every call was about Quade. He's really got under their skin, and considering he's born here, it's great stuff. I'm loving it.
He's from Tokoroa.
Sharp and Simmons. It's all timber and it goes to Sharp on the 22. So good field position again for the Wallabies. It's a free kick advantage.
Well, they've got 2 back rowers ready to have a run.
Genia gives it now to McCalman. Runs into the traffic. Nothing happening there, so it's a free kick. It's a technical issue there for the Americans. 2 scrum halves at the line-out.
Well, Genia had no hesitation in calling for the scrum there.
The last week, Phil, though I need to remind you, the Wallaby scrum was penalised 6 times, but they've got the weight advantage and the experience over the Americans. It should be much better tonight.
I thought the criticism of the Wallaby scrum in going back and reviewing it was perhaps a little harsh. They weren't pushed backwards. There was a bit of up and down going on in the front row, but they weren't shoved backwards. I actually thought they scrummed better than they did against Italy, where they were pushed backwards.
Penalty now.
I don't think they're going to need the points here tonight. 2 tries in 14 minutes. Yeah, take the line out.
So pressure here on the American line-out as Tatafu Pilota now makes his way up for the throw. Injury scare at training yesterday for Tatafu Pilota now, but at the end of it all, there was nothing compared to what he's been through this year.
I think the injury scare was just too many journalists at training without anything to write about. Here come the Wallabies peeling around the corner through Simmons.
Simmons, 5-metre mark. And, bumped into his own man that time, Cleffy Palu.
I think knock on. I think one of them got loose. Mexican wave after 15 minutes. That's harsh. Judgment by the crowd. It's as if it's about them.
When there's been 2 really good tries scored.
I don't think it's boredom. I think it's just the party atmosphere.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I've got to say, the ground is pretty much full. It's only the corporate seats where people aren't sitting. Apart from that, it's almost full.
And a little bit of temporary seating down at ground level behind the goalposts. Not full. Penalty.
Oh, another highly technical penalty of binding by props. They got to bind, where is it? On the jersey or on the virtually on the ribs rather than cannot bind on the arm. Twice picked up, 1 from each team.
Dan Alexander that time. As Lissi Malifa kicks his team out of a bit of trouble. So a line out near the 10-metre mark.
It's on the other side that they got it. Is there a world record for the length of a Mexican wave? Greg Martin, you'd know trivial rubbish like that.
I saw one go around the field at Rotorua the other day 12 times. I don't know if that was the record. That's a personal anecdote.
For the USA winning the line out.
Big Hay.
And here's Hayden Smith and gets it back to Usaz. And Usaz comes to Mitchell. And now across to Lavala. Good work by the USA. And Quade Cooper, be careful with the lift. Usaz and Malifa wide they go, trying to spread the Wallabies. The crowd starts to roar as Blaine Scully has it, the fullback.
Australians were on their feet.
Yeah, Adam Ashley Cooper just slipped as he was heading across field and get in the defensive line.
Yeah, he recovered. Here they come again, USAS.
He'll be enjoying playing against some of his Wallaby mates.
Well, the break was made by Hayden Smith, the Penrith boy, giving it to Tim USAS, the Brisbane boy, who took off.
Malifa goes in digging. Phil Field, the hooker, goes to ground. So now they have to restart.
Skip with your feet, please.
Danahy.
What's up? That's good.
This has again Malifa. He's going to kick across field for Hawley. Hawley takes it. Quade Cooper throws him into the turf about 5 metres out from the Wallaby line. Good work by the Americans. So asking some questions here, the underdogs. Basori. Usaz finds the fullback Scully. Crowd getting behind the Americans here. Good recycle. Lavella, 5 metres out. Genia made the tackle. Pick and go again. Very spirited stuff from the Eagles. Still there for them. Good continuity. The Wallabies not panicking. Now they run to the line and out the back it goes to Scully. Still 5 metres out.
Good little decoy play. Didn't fall for it though, the Wallabies.
Just working it in tight.
Sit it up, please. Keep hitting up.
Usaz. Danahy.
Anthony Fainga made a terrific tackle and quite destructive.
USA attackers looking more exhausted than the Australian defenders.
They're not in any hurry to get it out. This is Scott Lavella.
Will Genia doing a great job of directing the traffic in defence. You can see him looking and scanning around at the back there.
For 14 phases now. And a good recycle.
Drop goal on the cards here. No. Yeah, he wants another forward runner. It's too obvious, the drop goal now.
Space, lads, space.
Malifa's in position. You see Usas, the halfback, looking over his shoulder.
Usaz is content for his forwards to have a rumble.
16 phases.
Pittman goes to ground. Basori offloaded. Now Usaz. Malifa the kick in behind the line and Genia, can he get into the field of play? Only just.
Gee, that's more dangerous. Oh.
Cooper just in the field of play. No.
5 metre scrum.
5 metre scrum. And it will be an American put in.
Of course, in the game of rugby league, one of the main things is if someone grubbers through that close to the line, you want to keep away from your try line. Will Genia would have been better just letting it dribble over the try line and dotting it down.
Well, actually the most common trivia question at any rugby club trivia night is who was the only team to score a try against the Wallabies in the 99 World Cup?
USA. USA.
You got it.
Grobler, I think it was.
Correct.
Jason Little was captain.
Yes, and I think he was marking Grobler that night, I think.
Missed the tackle on him too, missed the tackle.
Yeah. Have you let him forget that, Kate?
Never ever. Second time I've mentioned it today on air actually, but did a little cross the news before, let him know as well. But what great discipline from both teams then. Both teams, attack and defence, superbly disciplined to get through 16, 17 phases around that area. The Wallabies showing, you know, the quality of their defence, and it's what you expect from the USA. They got a little bit of momentum. The game, as we know, swings with momentum from time to time, and it was with the USA, and they're proud in the crowd to be US supporters, and it was, you know, some wonderful little play. Their great little offload by Smith. Played a lot of basketball in Australia and also college basketball in the US. Gets the offload away, and this little kick here was a wonderful one. I thought he'd score from here. Quade Cooper did really well to make that tackle. The ball skewed out the side and the Wallabies couldn't get it. Delightful little kick. I think Will Genia had to catch that one, Marto, otherwise it was dangerous. And then Quade Cooper just got monstered here by Tim Hughes as took him over the try line. And an opportunity now again from the US team. Can they score a try against the Wallabies? I think James Slipper and the front row, particularly Ben Alexander on the tight head side, will be looking to get a big hit and see if they can wheel the US into the touchline, put some pressure on their scrum.
Touch. Pause. Engage. In 9.
It didn't look good on this side with James Slipper.
Sit down, both sides.
Kofol, his scrums resetting. 2 good pressure tackles that Quade Cooper made then. One on the lock and one then on the wing. Pretty good for a bloke that can't tackle.
Oh, look, he can really tackle Quade when his mind's on. I think if you give him time at the back, he makes good decisions in defence. It's probably in the front line where he gets confronted by a much quicker decision-making process that sometimes he can struggle a little bit.
You know, he goes to the ball a lot when he's in that front line defence. Instead of making a tackle, he'll try to strip the ball.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a good scrum.
Good scrum.
Oh.
And it's going to be a try down the short side for JJ Gargiano.
Brilliant.
Big Wallaby scrum, but all of a sudden it popped out and there was no defence on the short side, and aren't they happy? The USA on the score sheet, 10-5.
One of the reasons it popped out is because all 3 back rowers are actually pushing for a change.
I know, that'll put the end of the back rowers pushing in the Wallaby scrum because they were so focused on that part of it. Rocky Elsom just allowed, the number 8 Gargiano to just pick and go quickly. There was no other move that he was going to do, Gargiano. He was 100% focused on that, and you could see Rocky
only got hands.
Yeah, and he was pushing in. As Ben Alexander was sort of angling in, that sort of forced Rocky to have to angle in as well. And he just couldn't change his direction quickly enough to pick up Gargiano.
Well, it's the last thing we would have expected, a number 8 to be going forward that quickly when their scrum was going backwards.
That quickly.
I'll tell you what, though, it's a disconnect between the back line, how they should defend a scrum like that, because the Wallabies were obviously going to try to wheel the US team towards the touchline through their tight head. The only option was for the number 8 to pick up and go right, and Drew Mitchell was defending on the right-hand side of the Wallaby scrum. They need to think a little bit more about their rugby in those situations. Not enough homework done there.
So Malifa, can he narrow the gap? Not a bad strike, it's coming around.
Got it! Oh, poster.
So it's 10-5. Australia over the USA, and that's certainly going to give the Americans some confidence. And poor defence on the short side by the number 3 ranked team in the world, playing the 17th ranked team in the world, and no disrespect to the 15 that are out there, but you know they made 14 changes to last week's starting team, the Americans, and so this is supposedly their second string.
Well, that's what happened. The Americans have worked so hard, 16 phases belting away to finally get a scrum, and it came easy.
Well, will it fire the Wallabies up again? He does. It's into touch.
Who's in his 22.
Line out about 11 from halfway. USA territory. 2 tries to 1.
One thing they have done, take their chances so far, the Wallabies. They're back down here since Hughes has made that gap. USA capitalised. Genia has a dart through the centre, successful.
Ducked under a high one there, and it's advantage. The referee spotted it.
Chance if the Wallabies go wide fast. They're a bit narrow in defence of the USA.
Cooper to Horn. Inside ball to Palu.
Good carry. Here's the go.
Cooper. Beale. Beale. Dummying. Beale looking for support. Now he offloads to Faenga.
Brilliant offload. Faenga's lost it.
And
now we'll come back to the scrum, I'd reckon.
Yeah, no advantage there for the Americans.
Pressure on when he kicked it.
Oh, special ball by Beale. Fainga got hold of it, but then lost it in the tackle. I'd be going wide as often as possible to Beale. He's got him on the outside. Then that little step. Brilliant stuff. That was good too. Just stripped in the tackle on the way down, Anthony Fainga.
Never really got it under control. Anthony Fainga, it happened so quickly, the ball just appeared for him. He got it but couldn't get his body into the right position as he hit the ground and spilled it. Now there's another opportunity for the Wallaby scrum to put pressure on. This one will be fine because there's nowhere to go. Will Genius on the right-hand side will tackle the number 8 if he comes off.
Keith, what about the defensive line now for the Wallabies? For Enga in that fly half channel, Horn and Adamashi Cooper from the right wing at outside centre.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you know, I don't mind it at all because it gives them 3 wonderful counter-attackers at the back. One of our strengths is their counter-attack. You put Quade Cooper back there at fullback and he's such a good counter-attacker.
Gaggiano,
McCalman's missed an easy one on Gaggiano.
the number 8 for the USA, the try scorers from the University of Cape Town.
Stay white.
And that is into touch. So another opportunity for the Wallabies to attack. 27 minutes gone in the first half. 10-5. Australia over the USA.
Ben McCalman wouldn't want to have a look at that tackle again on replay, Kernsey. A lot of hands, no shoulders, trying to tackle Gaggiano. The number 8 for the USA is looking magnificent.
Yeah, and that's the right side of the scrum up as well.
Rob Horn gives it to
The left. But on the
Fainga.
right side.
White release.
Genia to Cooper, showing it on the inside then. Trying to offload in an impossible situation. He had 2 players all around him and he tried to offload to Lodinau. So again, poor decision making.
You saw that down advantage against you. Wrong side.
And it's against Drew Mitchell, this penalty that's coming up for the USA if they want it. Nothing happening there, so penalty America.
How could he say nothing was happening there when Newsouth just got the ball away to the hooker who was about to march 3 or 4 metres upfield? Just cut that advantage way too short.
We're saying Drew Mitchell there was on the ball, must have kept on fiddling with it. He was, trying to get
out of there.
That's ridiculous. Come on. He was scrambling out. He was actually physically getting out of the ruck.
Nessie Malifa finding touch, so another good attacking position for the Eagles.
US reserves.
Very excited about the performance so far.
Wallabies just haven't been able to get their momentum by controlling the ball. Too many soft turnovers, easy turnovers, not treasuring the ball as much as they should. Nathan Sharp's done a good job here to infiltrate through the middle. Nigel Owens has said he's fine.
Now he says they're able to put the phases together leading up to their first try. And that is offside. No, they're saying it's okay.
I think it came off Lodinau's feet accidentally. Malifa.
And the Sifa almost found a gap. News has Malifa. Scully from fullback. He says again, picks up big Hayden Smith, his Aussie mate.
You've got to say the momentum's with the USA, all the ball.
Oh,
The
super
inside
nut.
pass is great. And now they cough it up though, so that's unfortunate.
Advantage is yours if you want.
So Rocky Elsom having a run. Advantage is over. Gives it now to Adam Ashley Cooper. And he's got a prop to beat. Got rid of one. Inside. Beale, they won't stop him. Curtly Beale from one end of the field to the other. Great try, Australia.
Oh, well done, Rocky Elsom. When that ball went to deck, there are a few Wallaby players around the ball that were happy just to play the knock on and let the scrum happen. He had the urgency to get in there and go. He showed the enthusiasm that a leader needs to. Well done, Rocky.
When we see the replay, you watch Rob Simmons, he's sort of he pushed himself away from the ball, just fell over. We'll have a look. Here's the error. The ball goes back on the inside. Looked like there was a gap opening up there, but there's the ball. Swearin puts it down. A lot of the Wallabies just standing back going, oh, we'll wait for the scrum. Not Rocky Elson. Went wide, fending off two, and then gave it to Adam Ashley Cooper, who spotted, hey, fat guy in front of me, I'll take him on, and then bust that tackle, and then it become easy peasy. Beale, just a foot race, untouched, under the post.
Oh, I'm feeling sorry for that bloke. I think that was Eric Fry chasing then, as it happened in the first try from the Las Vegas Blackjacks, because he's been working his heart out, but he's just getting these super quick blokes on him all the time.
15-5.
Wallabies needed that. They hadn't had a try for more than 20 minutes.
Well, we got that one.
And third time lucky from right in front. Cooper adds the extra two. 17-5, Cave.
Needed the try, I agree with that. Interesting that the Wallabies not that effective at the breakdown. To me, the open side flanker now is a position in rugby almost as specific as hooker and halfback. You've got to have a backup specialist. Wallabies don't. Ben McCalman's getting found out. We're not effective at the breakdown. Haven't turned the ball over yet at the breakdown. I suspect if we had a specialist open side, we probably would have got a couple of pilfers.
Yep.
What were those two crucial specialist positions you just mentioned then, Kate?
One of them was halfback.
Come on, just say it. Say it. Say the word.
The other one's hooker. Every team needs a fat bloke who can push.
Quade Cooper finds touch on the far side. Wellington Regional Stadium.
Australia, 17 kicks. The USA have been using the ball a bit more judiciously.
It's the mascot. As the youngster in the squad, James O'Connor, is in charge.
He must be sick of that. Third tour away from Australia that he's been in control of Wally.
We won't mention his other name.
No. Any former Wallabies will know.
Not for broadcast?
No.
That's the halfway mark. And the USA go to ground through Sean Pittman from London Welsh.
Space. No, he's offside. Your ball is slow.
Good refereeing there. The referee saying the Wallabies were okay to come through. But it's still there for the Eagles.
Sorry, it was Pittman that I meant before that's trying his guts out. Clarkie, you're right.
Yeah, he's normally the tight head prop. Pittman, he's moved to loose head tonight.
Malifa.
All right, Cooper's on his own. Great ball to counter-attack on. He's going to pump it deep.
Stay.
Big kick down into the 22, so Swearin goes back to claim it. No real pressure on him. Not a great angle to work with for the kick, though. And he only picks up 15 or so metres.
Which is a net gain for the Wallabies. So well worthwhile by Quade Cooper. Against some of the top teams, their kickers would throw it a lot further than that.
I'll tell you, the bench were quite happy with that play here. There's a lot of chat animation. A few senior guys on the Wallaby bench standing around talking about what they should and shouldn't be doing, and they were pretty happy with Quade Cooper's kick then.
So Genia gives it now to Palu in midfield, and he passes it out to Rob Horn. Horn with one to beat. Rob Horn goes on the outside. He picks up for Inga. The Inga cuts back infield and scores the try.
Whoa, what a run by Wycliffe Palu. And the ball he released to Horn.
First test try, Anthony Fainga in his 10th test.
Well, he was determined to get it. I don't know whether he almost blew it there at the end. Wasn't the end, it was the pretty bit, it was the start.
That's the fourth try, so bonus point Australia.
Yeah, Genia ran across field, and there's a lovely ball. He had three blokes on him, Cliffy Palu. The timing of that pass was magnificent. The US defender, Scully, picked him up well, and yeah, he did, Muddo, you're right.
Well, Drew Mitchell was a special. That was a great run by Cliffy Palu. Three defenders he took. That's why Horn found himself in such a big hole. He's done well. You can see he had four runners coming at him. Geez, I bet you Drew Mitchell would have loved that ball. Anthony Fainga, he was desperate for a try. Let's face facts. His first. Yeah, they got some payoff there. I was worried when Cliffy Palu started to run across field, but then all of a sudden the defenders came at him. He dragged him in and unleashed. Often he doesn't possess that subtle offload. That was great. Quade would want to get this one to shut the booers up.
About 9 metres in from touch. Not a bad strike.
Missed it.
So it looked good off the boot. So that's just 1 from 4 now.
Cave, the thing I like about Quade and Kirtley tonight is they're not trying to play 1% plays every time they get the ball. They're just doing their basic bit right, and they've still got plenty of time and space to do all the other stuff they like to do.
That's right, Kearns. Remember, it came off that good kick from Quade Cooper, the judicious kick into the backfield. They get a line out and they score off it. Didn't Rob Horne do really well? Tim Horne reckons he's a great footballer and a possible long-term number 12 from the Wallabies, and we're seeing a pretty good outing from him tonight.
Hold on. Tim Horan said that about Zach Guilford. Remember that?
Oh, he says it about everyone, I think, Timmy. He's either bagging them in the press or saying nice things about him. Sitting at home, watching this, back in the studio, watching this game, nearly ready for the halftime show, no doubt. Be interesting to see what his comments are at halftime and how he's gone tonight, Rob Horne.
Get in a form quicker, it'll be a free kick next time, okay? You're a bit too slow.
Used to be a Wallaby selector, didn't he, Tim Horan?
Yep.
Around that period where the Wallabies went through a bad patch.
Back to the action. And a good two-handed take from Scott Lavella, who plays his rugby with Stade Francais in France, the number 4.
There's that man, probably the best player. Oh, Basori's put it down, the blindside flanker. The shaggy hair there.
3 minutes to go before half-time. The Wallabies would love another try right now. The back line having a little bit of a conference. You can see them there just getting themselves organised here. Just Cliff Parlow, ready to make the big hit.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with himself at all. I think he had a little look at Cliffy Parlow coming at him.
Gee, I tell you what, just we can't quite see at top of the screen. Kirtley Beale is there with Adam Ashley Cooper, and they've got plenty of room. They've got about 24 metres to operate in. No, they're going to come to Quade Cooper.
And Cooper is going to kick. And it's a good one into touch. Inside the USA 22.
Well, Will Genia made the noise during the week, Cave, going maybe we've got to play some field position rugby, be a bit more stern on ourselves, a bit more boring if you like.
Well, they've just got to, for mine, they've got to decide on how they want to play and stick to it. What happens when the Wallabies have played poorly is they've gone into a game with a preconceived idea and then gone away from it because it just didn't work straight away. They seem like they get frustrated and impatient as here on the sideline. Berrick Barnes has got the headgear on, he's got the gear off, he's ready to come on.
Oh, now.
Yeah.
Strange time to come on. A minute before half-time. USAS about to pump up the box kick again.
It's going to be Kirtley Beale coming off.
Injured?
I asked that question and the media liaison told me it was tactical.
Well, he looks okay, and if you see on just momentarily, you can see on the right of your screen that Beale is running off. So
Quade Cooper going to fullback, Berrick Barnes to 5'8".
Didn't look too injured, Kirtley.
No, talking to one of the members of the coaching staff today, when I said why isn't Berrick at 12, they said he'll get lots of time. This is what they mean.
He's a little bit tight, Kirtley, I think in the hamstring, in the groin perhaps.
He's done plenty of running.
Yeah.
here's Cooper. Coughed it up. Ready to mount an attack down the short side.
Yeah, he came from a long way back, Quade. He saw something very, very early. Berrick and Rob Horne having a little bit of a chat. I'm sure Berrick's keen to get his hands on the seed.
Good to see him back. 32nd Test cap. His second Rugby World Cup. His first Test of the year. We've got a man down. Timer's off now. So Quade at fullback will probably enjoy a bit of freedom, a bit more space.
Clark here just had a quick chat to Kirtley as he's heading off into the tunnels now to get some treatment from the physio. He said just his groin was just starting to tighten up a little bit. Nothing wrong with it, but just a fraction of tightness in it, and thought may as well come off and not take any risks. So he looked pretty good when he was on there, was running freely, but certainly don't want to take any risk with that. And
cold night, and he was the best Wallaby last week, verging on that in the first half. You may as well look after him.
And now Berwick Barnes on the field. He's obviously at 5'8" and will probably take over the goal kicking, I would have thought. And a real opportunity for Berwick, should he not only play well but kick the ball well. You'd think it's been such an area of concern for the Wallabies. Might just kick his way into the starting side.
Good call.
Tim Hughes puts it in.
Scrum.
Just and tidy, lads, both sides.
Great stats there from Gargiano. We just saw before. 1 try, 9 tackles, and about 80-odd metres, running metres, which very impressive.
He's played some footy for Eastern Province in South Africa in the Currie Cup, University of Cape Town. Very capable footballer.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
So is this going to be the last play of the first half? Gargiano goes to ground.
Yeah, I reckon Newcastle will just kick it out. He won't want to run from there.
And Newcastle, yep, into touch it goes. And that is half-time in this Pool C encounter between Australia and the USA. Australia scoring 4 tries to 1 so far. And Australia leading the USA by 22 points to 5. Gargiano making his way. Pat on the back from a teammate because he has been quite impressive, and he scored the 1 try. So we will take a break from Wellington. Stay with us for the halftime show. 22 points to 5, Australia over the USA. Welcome back to Wellington Regional Stadium. And this will be the venue for 2 of the quarterfinals. You've got a fortnight. The other 2 quarterfinals will be played at Eden Park. Australia hoping to be in one of those Wellington quarterfinals. So far, so good. 22 points to 5 at half-time. The Wallabies over the USA. And already 1 change with Kurtley Beale replaced. He scored 1 of the tries in the first half, replaced by Berwick Barnes. Rob Horne's still out there enjoying his time, starting for the Wallabies again. Messi Malifa will get us underway, the fly half for the USA. I think Tim Hughes, the Australian captain of the USA team, will be pretty happy with his first 40. Didn't seem to be overawed at all, playing against his country of birth.
He went all right, but a couple of soft points there at the end, soft tries by the Australians near the end of the half.
So Malifa gets us underway, gives it plenty of air, and it bounces. Who wants it? Knocked forward by the USA.
Some sort of skullduggery went in. Rob Simmons hit the deck.
So a scrum in the first minute of the second half.
Okay, both of you. Just get it a bit higher.
Nathan Sharp, 97th Test match. Will he get to 100 in this campaign?
Middle 9. Crouch.
Wonder if Cliff Parlew will think about jumping off the back of this scrum and careering into the inside backs to set up a good kicking platform for that man, Berwick Barnes. Got a great kicking game, Berwick, and probably a better kicker of the football, or probably the best kicker out of hand in the Wallaby side. So look for him to try to steer the team around with his boot now.
He's in a running stance at the moment, Berwick. No, going to kick.
Stay gold.
Goes long down the centre of the park.
Well, here's a bit of industry going on here.
And it's Scully wearing the 23 jumper now, so he's changed jerseys at half-time, the fullback. Just outside the 22.
Oh, Tim Newsouth's got to ask for volunteers to take it up.
Oh,
Gaggiano.
he didn't take it up either, Gaggiano.
It was a voluntary tackle.
He just stood there. Dive pass, not a good one, and a bit of pressure here on Malifa.
If the Wallabies are any good, they'll grab this ball.
Well, they wanted the ruck in the 22 so they could kick it out on the full. That's what they were looking for. And they got it, but they've gone backwards another 10 metres.
I've never seen any team do that ever.
And that's not out, so Adam Ashley Cooper will fire it into midfield to Cooper. Across it goes now to Berwick Barnes, and Barnes puts on some footwork, and straight through goes Berwick Barnes. Barnes beats 1, 2, 3 now. He's about 6 or 7 metres out. They need a quick one. Genia, out it goes to Cooper. Now Horn looking to offload, can't get the hands free, takes the tackle. And the Americans coming through with the counter ruck. No, coming from the side, so advantage here for the Wallabies.
Fry with the blonde hair quite clearly went around the side.
Genia goes in digging, gives it to Barnes. Barnes out the back door to nobody, so Cooper cleans up, but they'll come back. It was taken by Colin Hawley, the man from the Olympic Club, but they were playing advantage. So the penalty about 5 metres out.
I thought they should have made more. Oh, this was the first one where Berwick Barnes went bang, bang off the left. Thought he was going to go a little bit further. Finally got hammered. And then the next pass there. Thought Rob Horn might make a little bit more of that. And there's blonde hair there, Fry, just coming in from the side.
He's covered some ground, Quade Cooper, because he was in that maul there. Next minute he's way back receiving the ball from outside of Berwick Barnes. I saw Berwick Barnes play in a club match a few weeks ago. Sydney University unfortunately tore Randwick apart, and really it was Berwick that tore him apart.
Oh yeah,
he was in great form and just doing what he did then, running straight, had the ball in both hands,
taking the ball
nice
to the
bit
line.
of deception, took the ball to the line, and he tore him apart,
stealing the time and space from the opposition defence.
Scrum trapped at the back there from the Wallabies, and yet the Americans offside.
Another scrum.
I couldn't be an advantage from the scrum because it was dope, okay?
Australian captain Will Genia wanting another scrum.
Stay square. Don't come out the net. Very square.
Next up, the
He's going underneath him and
Wallabies play Russia in Nelson, north of the South Island, next Saturday. Not much of a break for USA. They've got Italy in Nelson next Tuesday.
And the point they've made is that's why they've rested a lot of their players. They want to win that, finish third in this pool, and then they automatically qualify for the 2015 World Cup.
Big shove coming here from the Wallabies, but they release it now to Genia, and he gives it out now to Drew Mitchell, and Drew Mitchell has scored a try. Well done, Drew. It looked like his World Cup dream was over back in April, but now all of a sudden he's in Wallaby gold and he's scoring his 8th World Cup try.
Congratulations, Drew Mitchell. What a great comeback.
Oh yeah. Well, what about the Wallaby scrum? Going forward, drag Will Genia. He just went at the opposition. It was just overwhelming. Very poor effort by Junior Seifer at inside centre for the Americans. Mitchell just punched straight through, Kearnsey.
Yeah, he did. He actually telegraphed it. When you look at it from head on, there was never any doubt that Drew Mitchell was going to get that ball. It's always easy to say that from up here, though.
Yeah, could have gone to Adam Ashley Cooper. Well, there's a turn-up. Quade Cooper still taking the goal kicking. And a change in the Wallaby camp. Rocky Elson coming off. Radiki Samo is on.
Maybe it was that first shot at goal that Kirtley sort of got a twinge in that groin. That's why he hasn't kicked from then.
And Cooper adds the extra 2. So it's 29 points to 5. Rocky Elson replaced Cape. He did some running in the first half.
Played well, one of his better games actually. Just that moment in the game where he picked the ball up and decided to counter-attack. It's really what they need. Now, I don't mind the look of this back row, though. Radiki Samo and Cliff Parlow in it, 6 and number 8. I think it's got some power, got some potential.
It'll be handy to have Radiki there. Now the game may open up a little bit in this half.
is Barnes, gives it out to Cooper. Wider goes to Palu in midfield, and Anthony Faanga straightens. He's taken on the halfway. Genia, Barnes, quick hand Simmons out to Alexander. Americans trying to keep him up off the ground, but the prop goes to ground now. Genia kicking over the top and down into some space in the 22. Well weighted by Genia. Scully. It's into touch. And Barnes thought briefly about a quick throw in, decided against it.
Wallabies had a bit of continuity there. The natural instinct would have been for Will Genia to throw it again. They were starting to get a roll on. Another sub. It's Pat McCabe coming on now.
I like that they're playing sensibly. That's Horn coming off.
Yeah, well, that's what they said they wanted to do. Play field position rather than take one more risk and lose the ball.
Have to get Cafe to check with Rob Horn. He looked to be okay walking off the field, but so the experiment with Horn at 12 is over for the time being, and Samo out wide.
Gee, a lovely ball from Barnes.
Now it's Barnes giving it to Cooper, and Cooper turning them inside out. Flicks it out the back door to nobody. Simmons has it, pops it up to Sharp.
Now sort things out.
And Sharp eventually going to ground with a bit of help from some teammates. McKelman, Cooper. Here's Mitchell putting the foot on the gas, giving it to Adam Ashley Cooper, and now McCabe has only been on there
12
for a matter
seconds.
of a minute, and he's on the score sheet. Pat McCabe scores his second Test try.
Generous stuff from Adam Ashley Cooper at the end there. He probably could have busted through that tackle to score. Gave it to Pat McCabe, who did the human hurdle. And over. But there's some loose stuff on the far side. Nathan Sharp was the man who plunged ahead before it came wide. Here's the benefit. Two playmakers, I'll tell you what. Quade Cooper and Berrick Barnes working each side of the field. Small trip there too.
Yeah, that's worked beautifully, hasn't it? And it's just, you know, pretty straight running at the hole, running at the man and just feeding it off. It's simple. And the passes have been in front of the man, so they're able to run onto it. You know, when the simple things get done well, you win games. As Will Genia comes from the field.
The Wallabies just making their changes now, giving their guys a little bit of a break, some rest time, particularly their starters. Rob Horn came off, nothing wrong with him. He's fine. Just having a check of him. He hasn't played a great deal of rugby, and it's always sort of after that 60-minute mark that injuries tend to become prevalent. Sekope Kepu now going on the field as well. Ben Alexander coming off, so the Wallabies really ringing the changes. Only a couple left on the bench.
Well, Cave, we were criticising Robbie Deans for making changes too late last week. He may not have enough reserves left to finish the game.
Yeah, that's Steve Moore and Dan Vickerman. They might just sit out the rest of the game there on the bench and put the feet up. Quade Cooper, a shocker. Hooks it out to the left, didn't hit it at all well.
Yeah, well, that's two successful conversions from 7 attempts.
Yeah, Drew Mitchell stealing the space. Adam Ashley Cooper taking the tackle, and two defenders for McCabe. Wallabies looking fairly comprehensive now. Geez, they'd be plenty if they hit a few goals.
Correction, 6 attempts at conversion. Only 2 going over.
Radicki.
Yeah. Samo. Oops. Couldn't hold on to it with that big right hand this time.
Oh, there's numbers.
Swearing goes to the right, and unfortunately they cough it up, and it was advantage over.
Oh, Sean Pittman.
.50 mark. Handling errors. 5 by the Americans, 7 by the Australians. And Luke Burgess with a rare opportunity to really get involved in this game.
He's getting plenty of minutes tonight.
Yeah, usually he doesn't get on at all, or if he does, it's only a matter of minutes. 35th Test appearance for the 28-year-old who's heading to France to play his rugby in 2012.
Judge. Pause. Engage.
Burgess with the put in. Palu gives it to Burgess, and he's having a dart.
Away wide release.
Couldn't quite get there, Burgess. Simmons wants to have a go up the front.
Hands are just on, you won't play it. Hands are just on.
Drew Mitchell from a standing start, can't find a way through. And Aki Basuri went low. Now it goes to Barnes. Wants to play it at the other end. Scully, he'll go high with the kick, and a couple of chases coming through. Scully, oh, and now Palu couldn't control it. Advantage is over as Hawley goes to ground.
Palu's injured in back play.
Yeah, which is not a good sign. He's had a terrible year with the injury, Cliffy Palu.
Oh, he wants to come off too.
And the ball's coming towards him.
Swearin offloads to Scully.
Palu made that tackle. It's too slow because he's injured, sir.
Sean Pittman. Penalty to the USA. And have a look at Cliff Palu in the foreground here.
He knew straight away something was wrong there.
Warren McDonald, the Wallaby doctor, straight out.
Well, he was already injured when he made the tackle. The refs pinged him for not getting out of there quick enough.
It wasn't an easy spot to get out of. It was when he went for that high ball.
What did he injure? Is it a knee? Is it a neck?
No, I think it's his knee. But I saw him grab the knee. He pointed to the knee. He's off. There's something.
It's not the knee, is it?
Hammy. I think it could even be his hamstring. Right down low on the knee. I'll have a chat to Warren McDonald and find out, or one of the staff in a second.
Well, that is unfortunate for Cliff Palu. His first start in Wallaby goals since 2009 against Wales. He's had a terrible time with injury, and now it's come back to haunt him by the look of it.
We're not going to lose too many lineouts now.
No, it'd be interesting to see who goes to the back row. I'd assume Simmons will go into the back row. Vickerman and Sharp will make up locking positions.
Yeah.
So chance here for the USA to get the crowd back on their side. Taking some time throwing in, and it was a shocking line out by the Americans. So snaffle there by the Wallabies, and back it goes to Barnes. And Barnes will find touch up around the 10-metre mark.
The Wallabies have now got 4 2-metre men on the field.
Yeah, they confused themselves then, the Americans, with that line out. There were blokes running everywhere. And then when the call finally came, it was just Sharpie didn't even have to jump.
They didn't have a jumper in the air.
You know, Berrick Barnes knows that. He knows that the US are going to struggle at line-out time. That's a good one.
It's a 10-metre mark, Australian territory for the USA.
Stay out. Stay inside there. Hey, get out.
He says, gives it to Gagliano. He goes to ground. Quick recycle out to Malifa. Turning it back on the inside to Sifa. Hughes throws the dummy. They don't fall for it. Good tackle by Vickerman. Lavella.
Yeah, they're trying to get some quick ball there, the US, but USAS was down underneath that last ruck.
I gave you the chance to get up after you've gone down. You didn't. You prevented the contest, the counter-rucking.
Just chatting here to the medical staff on the Wallaby bench there. Got some concerns about Cliff Palu. Said it's not too bad. He was just starting to get a bit tight, so they thought they'd pull him off beforehand. It is a before it got too bad, it is a hamstring that they're concerned about.
So just repeat for everyone, Curtly Beale came off a minute before half-time, Cave. That was a groin?
That was just a little bit of tightness again in the groin. Nothing serious, but just enough to be, to start bothering him, and he felt it tighten up, so just thought before it gets too nasty, he'd come off. And Cliff Palu definitely hurt his hamstring a little bit, but not a massive concern at the moment, so they'll just wait and see how he pulls up.
Fair old contest for the ball. Players everywhere.
And Burgess
No
can't
sign.
quite get his hands on it. Goes in digging now.
It's in deep.
Okay, hasn't come. More was formed. Scrum down. Turnover ball.
Turnover ball against Australia.
Well, the second half's been going 16 minutes. That's the first thing the USA have had to cheer about.
And aren't they colourful? The red, white and blue.
Timeout, Jeff.
Whether we're looking at New Zealanders at a fancy dress party, oh no, they've bought a jersey. They've got to be from America.
Well, I reckon 80% of them would have no idea what's going on out there, but they're just here to support USA.
Is that all the Kiwis, Kearns, in the crowd, you mean?
Another Mexican waves doing a lap while the injury's being treated. What an atmosphere. It is a party. I know cameras are trained on the field. There's Rocky Elson, Ben Alexander, Stephen Moore, Will Genia. There's Cliffy Parlow just still being treated and iced up.
Well, I reckon they're underrating what's happened to Cliffy then. He knew straight away something had gone wrong.
Will Genia still sitting there with a footy in his hands. He loves it.
Touch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
US feeding the scrum. Yeah, then number 8 tried to pick again, Gargiano. Wallabies ready for him on that occasion.
Whistle goes.
Do you hear the Wallaby call? He's off his feet.
No. I was held up. Turnover ball.
Yeah, mauled.
Luke Burgess has done really well there. Such a great defender as a halfback. It's one of his real strengths. He was in there straight on the ball, straight on Gargiano, held him up. Turnover ball. I mean, it's a pretty powerful scrum, isn't it, the Wallaby scrum? They've got every big bloke they could possibly find in that pack, and you'd think they'd have plenty of drive coming from the back five now.
Well, he's a pretty solid bloke, isn't he, Luke Burgess? So he's definitely got the strength to get in there.
Wallaby put in. Penalty goes to Australia.
Leave it go, please.
Who says penalised?
The ball hadn't left the scrum. He's plucked it.
Wallabies looking for another scrum.
Well, they've got the same setup again, Clarkie, that Drew Mitchell scored off. The little number 8, 9 running across field and then runners coming everywhere. Don't be surprised if it goes out the back to Berwick Barnes and he sends it wide to Quade Cooper. They're looking like it's the short play, but they might use the wide one.
Well, Burgess now gives it to Barnes. Wide they go. Cooper up from fullback, and now for the corner goes Adam Ashley Cooper.
Easy. That's the thing. Cape just described it. They jammed them in the last time, so they were wary on the inside. They go wide. It was a great ball there too from Berwick Barnes. Could have been better, I guess, but it was good enough that Cooper looks good at fullback. Well, he plays there in defence. Adam Ashley Cooper didn't have a hand laid on him.
Well, it just creates so many options, doesn't it? Have Barnes and Cooper on the field, both of them good ball players, different style of players, but good ball players. That one could have even been better if it was in front of Cooper, but gee, they did it so well anyway.
On the inside was Drew Mitchell as well as another option for Cooper. If he wanted to go at the defence and flick it inside, Drew Mitchell could have made the kick even easier. Berwick Barnes is having a shot at goal. I'll tell you what, it was Cooper at 10, Barnes at 12. Adam Ashley Cooper was playing at 13 when the Wallabies destroyed the French in November last year. I keep harping on about it. But it certainly looked to me like that was our best attacking unit.
I agree with that, Marto. I think having a ball player at 12 is critical for the Wallabies. You've got to have someone who can, and I know why they're doing it. I know why they need a straight man. They need a foil, but Berrick Barnes can fill that role too.
He takes the ball at the opposition. Plus, he's played 2 seasons with the Brisbane Broncos. He can tackle.
Yep. He can kick goals too, Marto.
It's over. Great kick from Berrick Barnes. And so it is 41 points to 5. Australia over the USA. Adam Ashley Cooper's 19th Test try, his second at this Rugby World Cup. He also got a 5-pointer against Italy in week 1. Kofi, you might just want to check who is the Australian captain at the moment with
Sharpie.
Ganier off.
Be Nathan Sharp, I would figure, has been nominated previously in his life.
So Sharp goes high. Stanfill is on for Hayden Smith, so the New South Wales-born lock from the USA has been replaced. Robbie Deans, Jim Williams, David Nusifura, Patricio Noriega.
One facet of play that has been poor from the Wallabies, I reckon, for a couple of years has been their restarts, both receiving and taking the kick-off receptions, whether it be 22s or kickoffs, has been pretty poor.
Yes, I agree, Phil. It has been poor. How many times do we see the Wallabies win their own kickoff? It's so rare, yet, you know, the good teams in the world, we saw the All Blacks score off it. The All Blacks have got a number of different kicking options with Dan Carter. The Wallabies only really one, and that's that deep kick just onto the edge of the 22. No other kick has been successful. And Marta, you were right, it is Nathan Sharp out there who's captaining the side now. Leading from the front, Sharpie. Love to see him get his 100 tests.
Yeah, wouldn't that be special?
If he could. Such a great guy and a great servant to Australian rugby, a great footballer.
And of course, there's always next year as well, because he's signed to play with the Western Force again in 2012.
Australian scrum. Big tick tonight, Kernsey, or USA just not there?
But USA are not a world power in scrummaging. You know, you wouldn't want to rest your laurels on performance of the USA for how you were going in your scrummaging practice.
Australian defence hasn't been challenged for a while. Here they come through. USAS to Malifa.
And into the midfield, trying to keep it alive. That was the 13, Tyanosa.
Watch this.
From both sides are flying from everyone going off their feet, okay? Both sides. We're going to go scrum down, white in possession, white ball.
Yeah, I think the good thing about that bit of play from the Wallabies was they were still screaming into that breakdown, despite being ahead by 36 points. They were still willing to have a go. Nice little bit of play from the number 8, Gagiano, to Usas then. Got him over the advantage line. Good pick-up from Malifa. You see him just flying in here, the Wallabies. Didn't quite secure the pill, but at least had the enthusiasm to still be going despite a good lead and being 60 minutes into the game.
Bit of concern being shown here for one of the Americans, Eddie O'Sullivan, the Irish-born coach on the right of your screen.
Clark, it's important now that the Wallabies go on with the job. 18 minutes left to go. Also, and you know, there's some pressure there. He'll get another opportunity against Russia, most likely, to put some pressure on, and then we'll see, you know, in the quarterfinals who gets selected.
Touch. Pause. Engage in 9.
Big scrum again coming from the Wallabies, picked up by Gagiano at the back. And Swirin comes in. This is Malifa. Can't find a way through. Taken by McCabe. They continue to work to the right. And that's the big replacement, Louis Stanfill. Inside ball from Malifa to Dennehy. Sharp was waiting. He says Barnes raced up quickly out of the line.
Made the tackle though.
Who says? And now the mistake from Gaggiano. Here's Burgess stepping and going to ground on the 10-metre mark. Lotta now onto the left foot goes Barnes. It's been charged down, so the USA have it. Stanfield. Malifa, who says, finds a runner. That's Junior Sifa. Malifa dummying. Oh, they almost fell for it. Lotta now made the tackle. Who says, picked up there by Pittman. And turnover. Mitchell gives it down to Adam Ashley Cooper. Well, there's nobody in front of him. He's got a double.
Watch the dive.
And Adam Ashley Cooper, a milestone. That is his 20th tie, 100 test points. Congratulations, Adam Ashley Cooper.
Well, so easy it was, but it took the alertness of Drew Mitchell to scoop it up, go straight, and then throw it onto his right to Adam Ashley Cooper, his fellow winger. Wallabies worked hard in defence. I think the USA more than anyone are tiring here now.
Yeah, it was good defensive work, good hard work from the Wallabies. They were persistent in defence, and that paid off for them here. They kept pushing up. That was Pittman taking the ball up. He's tried hard all night. It's Pallotta now that went through and sort of secured that ball, and then it was Mitchell, and it was all over. Adam Ashley Cooper. He's really just come into form in the last 3 or 4 weeks because he had a poor Super Rugby season.
Well, the opportunities were scant playing on the wing at the Brumbies.
Yeah, you're right.
Greg Barnes getting a chance to boost his stats in front.
Flags are up, edging towards the half-ton.
Cave, there was a significant piece of play, I reckon, for Berrick Barnes there. He's had to make a pretty solid tackle, and then within about 10 seconds after that, he's ended up being crushed at the bottom of a ruck, and he's got up without any problems. That would have been a big confidence booster to him, I reckon.
Cave, can I ask a question? Stephen Moore's gone on, but Pallotta now is still on as well. Who's come off?
Pat McCabe's hurt his shoulder. It's just come off. I can't see where he is. He must have gone off the other side of the field.
Is Samo in the backs? Is that Radicki, a backline member? Berrick Barnes goes wide. Crossfield kicked Adam Ashley Cooper. Hello!
And he's got the ball back on the inside to the forwards, and a bit of interchange before Painga throws it back, and away goes the Wallabies up to the 22 through Cooper, and Adam Ashley Cooper dummying! Adam Ashley Cooper, hat-trick!
Great team try. Started with a crossfield kick, finishes with a bit of forward interplay. Quade Cooper pulled down, and then Adam Ashley Cooper dummy and try. Whoa!
He was struggling to get to the line at the end. He was puffing. He'd lost his feet, lost his balance.
The poor bloke had just run 60 metres for the last try. He's got to do that. You can't come off. There are no more reserves. Well, he started it, Adam Ashley Cooper, well done, and a nice generous pass there, as is this, and then Samos as well to Faenga. They did well. Slipper got involved. No, it was McCallum, then Cooper. Thought Cooper was going to scoot free. Have a look at Adam Ashley Cooper, the big dummy, and getting a rub on the head from Dan Vickerman. He'll have a rest for a couple of secs.
Yeah, quality individual as well, Adam Ashley Cooper.
Well,
type of guy you want to see successful.
4th try at this tournament. A rare hat-trick in a Rugby World Cup game.
One of the USA players down in back play, I think. Might have been the one that tried to tackle Adam Ashley Cooper initially.
We'll have a change of captain for the USA as well, because Tim Usas is going to be replaced by Mike Petrie.
Petrie is normally the captain if Cleaver's not playing. If he hits this through Berrick Barnes, and he does.
3 from 3.
That's the kick the selectors will take notice of. It was a tough one.
55-5.
Still plenty of points out here, Clarkie. Let's see how the Wallabies finish this game. They need to be finishing strongly. It'll give them confidence. They need to be putting those sort of plays together that they just did and scoring tries with the ball through the hands.
Drew Mitchell, he'll be enjoying his time out there. Barnes out the back door. Cooper straightens and then gives it to Adam Ashley Cooper. He turns it back on the inside. Advantage for the Americans there. Just a little sloppy.
Yeah, that's what'll happen. It was a little bit lazy about Adam Ashley Cooper. But after you've just got your third try, you can be... well, no, you probably can't be justifiably lazy. There's Tim Usas. Well done, mate.
Well, I think he was trying to accelerate onto the ball, Ashley Cooper, but I don't know if he had too much left in the tank. He's done plenty of running tonight, and he's limping a little bit, so I think that's been hindering him. He knows there's no one left. Come on, he's got to stay on there.
He's cleared the bench.
I tell you what, Kearnsey, the forward pack weren't that impressed with the backline's play then. Nathan Sharp came over and gave them a right serve.
Righto, well, that's standards and discipline. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the USA have had the better of possession and territory.
11 minutes remaining. Gaggiano.
Well, you were gone the wrong way that time. Straight into the Wallaby scrum that was advancing.
Big counter-attack coming from the Wallabies, and they've turned it over. And Burgess gets it out to Slipper, and now Barnes for Anger. Cooper coming up from a fullback to join in the line. Adam Ashley Cooper on the far side. Good recycle. Barnes, back it goes to Burgess. Here's the replacement props. Kepu. Advantage being played for the Wallabies. One of the Americans offside. Penalty. Quickly taken by Burgess, and now Quade Cooper putting a bit of footwork on. Got it out to Fainga. Anthony Fainga for the corner. Another try, and if it's awarded, that's his second for the match.
He's gone upstairs to have a look.
Look fairly simple. Vinnie Munro wants... What does he want to know? Try, yes or no? Berrick Barnes wants the ball. Well, it was good work by Burgess, wasn't it, to grab the ball and take off.
Yeah, he knew they were short down that left-hand side.
Well, Fainga saw the white line, and he went low. Thought he'd try and slide in. So far, so good.
Oh, yeah, there's 5.
Yeah, no problem there.
I think we can call off the hunt now.
Now, the thing that I've liked about this Wallaby performance, particularly after they've scored tries, is they've remained focused. There hasn't been the laughing and joking and carrying on, isn't this easy, isn't this fun. I noticed that when the All Blacks were playing Japan the other night, they were a bit frivolous. They got...
Try to Fainga.
It's all a bit too jokey, and not a good sign when that happens, I think.
Well, that's normally an Australian attitude. So we wondered at 22-5 up the Wallabies. Wondered whether they might loosen up, but they've gone on with the job tonight. That was the true test in the second half. Yeah, he caught one in the mouth there as he was scoring.
Some injury news here from the bench. Pat McCabe, suspected dislocated shoulder.
Jeez.
So we might have seen the end of poor Pat McCabe.
Well, that is unfortunate.
He's off the field. I guess he's gone.
He's gone there. He didn't come back to the bench, straight into the sheds. And opens the opportunity for this man, Berrick Barnes.
Well, if he kicks this goal, you can be guaranteed he will start when the Wallabies get through to the quarters. No, he's missed that.
Well, he didn't. Does he still start or not?
Yeah, well, he's allowed to.
Well, what's he kicked, Clarkie? You've got all the stats there.
Well, 3 from 4.
3 from 4. I mean, that's better than any other Wallaby kicker so far in this tournament.
There's a bloke called James O'Connor.
Yeah, he hasn't kicked 3 from 4.
No, well, he still needs to be in this team.
Yeah.
60 points to 5. The Wallabies over the USA.
So you reckon they'd put O'Connor at 12?
No, not at 12. Back on the wing.
Field is off, and McClanahan is on. They go wide.
Here comes the Quaction man.
Throws it down on the inside, gives it to Samo on the right wing, where he's played for the Brumbies for many, many years ago. Kepu went in high, but manages to work to the ground now. And the Americans might have turned this over, although here comes the counter now. Yeah, hands in there. 8 minutes remaining in the match.
Got the first man in. Ruck was fouled.
Much better by the Wallabies. They conceded so many penalties last week, 15 from memory. Only 4 so far this evening. Not under the same sort of pressure the Irish applied.
Well, certainly not. She's a different speed tonight and intensity.
Pat Dennehy down.
Yeah, they should play on. They don't need him.
There's a lot of hand waving out the back from the back line, pointing to Radiki Samo, telling him where to stand, where to go.
What position you reckon he's playing, Cave?
Yeah, right wing. He's
right wing.
got a history on the right wing many years ago.
He used to be on the right wing for the Brumbies with you, was he?
No, it was way back in the Kookaburra days.
Oh, Cookers.
Yes. The early 90s.
Before the Brumbies were invented.
That's right, yeah.
I definitely have seen him, I'm sure, standing on the wing for the Brumbies at some stage, though.
We seagulled out there a bit for a while. Learnt that from Phil Kearns, watching him play his rugby.
I was about to say nothing wrong with that. It's a staple of any good hooker.
So Stephen Moore throwing in, and there's one against the throw. Well done, USA. Stanfill goes to ground. Petrie, the replacement scrum half, to Malifa and Sifa. Chris Wiles is on for Tyanosa, so a change in the midfield. Good strong run by the USA.
Because
here's the 6, Anaki Basuri.
Because the ball was put in front of the runner and he was allowed to run onto the ball.
Still there for the Eagles, a kick over the top, and the bounce is good for Cooper, and he got away from the first chaser. With some footwork on to the 10-metre mark.
Geez, you got to love it. 73 minutes into it, and he's still wanting to run and step and have fun.
I'll tell you what I will love, if he keeps coming to the right and Radiki Samo latches onto one.
Well, Burgess goes in looking for it, but no, they're going to go to the left. Barnes is there, out to Kepu. Now Cooper. Adam Ashley Cooper dummying. Cooper back on the inside, but one of the Americans got in the channel.
Yeah, and they're offside. Deliberate knockdown too, I think, is it?
Yeah.
I don't card him. He's got the card out.
There was no attempt whatsoever to catch that. Okay, that's a professional foul. 10 minutes.
Oh, the mercy rule should have been applied there.
Yeah.
So Blaine Scully from the University of California is in the bin. We won't see him again in this match. 60 points to 5. Australia over the USA. Another look at it here. And Amashi Cooper dummying, looking for his 4th try, and there it is there.
Oh, I thought his hand went up, but Scully going to join Mulder on the bench.
My theory is like yours, Kurtzy. If you're trying to hit the ball up, that means you're trying to regather it, which isn't a knockdown. His hand was up and going up. Fair enough. Is that Dennehy coming off?
It's one of those mysteries, Kearnsey. X-Files mystery.
Scully.
Burgess with the put in. You've got Pilotta now playing at open side flanker.
See if the Wallabies keep their poise. The scrums come apart, but we've got to get a penalty out of it.
Well, he has played number 8 before for his club. Pilotta now, actually, I think he used to be number 8 in his younger days until he became vertically challenged.
And working the moves out wide. Barnes got a pass away to Mitchell, and he keeps it alive on the ground, but it's been picked up there by Junior Sifa. No advantage though, so a long advantage applied there.
They're getting hammered in the penalties, the Americans.
Offside at the scrum.
Here comes another scrum from the Wallabies.
Well, Marto, there's our man of the match, Adam Ashley Cooper. 3 tries tonight. He's had a wonderful game, hasn't he? Just been
Good on him.
Been everywhere.
What do you reckon, Cafe? His posse's outside centre, isn't it?
You know what? I do like him there, but I just think he's so much of a threat on the wing. He reads the game so well. He plays like an outside centre.
But come quarterfinals, Cafe, we got Digby to come back in and James O'Connor.
Yeah. No, I understand that, but I think he will play at outside centre, but he's a pretty handy winger as well. But, Marta, we do have a few good wingers. Some pressure on them. I mean, Drew Mitchell has been such great form throughout the year prior to his injury. Wallabies get a penalty. And
here we go through Burgess and Pulotta now. Ball's come out the back.
And Moore has it. Stephen Moore takes it forward. Burgess out to Rob Simmons. And Simmons up to the 5-metre mark in front of the post. Burgess. Barnes dumbing. There's a little grubber kick for Samo. No. The Americans get there in the nick of time. And it was Petrie.
No one back for the Wallabies. They're getting there.
$11 handling errors to 6. What do you think about the kick in behind, Cape? Would you prefer to see ball in hand at this stage of the match?
I think so, but you know, that's their want every now and again, is that little grubber. They've almost got it out of the game. It's probably the only one we've seen all night, much to our relief.
So there's still time for more points, and Cooper gives a short ball.
Thanks very much, says Radicki Samo.
No, Pulotta now.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, Samo's on the wing.
And Stephen Moore.
Wrong afro.
Cooper now gives it to McKelman. And McKelman has taken about 25 metres out.
Quaid back at first receiver.
Wide ball running on. It was Adam Ashley Cooper. He gives it to Radicki Samo. The Fijian steam train on the right wing scores for the Wallabies.
Oh, that's what we want. Comes wide from the Quaction man. Cooper through their hands. And the Americans kept pouring through it in defence, but Adam Ashley Cooper, instead of taking the 4th try, flicks it onto Samo. My favourite afro, Radicki Samo.
Well, Quaid just summed that up so quickly and so beautifully, who he needed to get the ball to. And yep, it was Adam Ashley Cooper again, who set up his outside man. And Quaid just summed it up beautifully. I'll miss you too. And there we go, to the straight running Adam Ashley Cooper, who runs onto the ball. DK gets the knees pumping, Cafe.
Good to see that. Nicely worked try. You know, good hole running from Adam Ashley Cooper. So he's coming dead straight there on the ball. Started himself, positioned himself a little bit wider, then straightened up so he could really attack that hole, which then allowed him to pin Radicki Samo's man and put DK away for a nice try.
Second test try for Samo, and Berrick Barnes adds the extra 2, so it's 67 points to 5. Australia over the USA.
I can't go past the difference Berrick Barnes has made since he's been on the field, and his goal kicking. I mean, goal kicking's so important in this competition. He's kicked 4 from 5. He'll probably finish the game as the highest rated kicker in the whole competition. Everybody's struggling, and he's hit every single one sweetly.
Good take from Vickerman.
Well, it's mission accomplished by the Wallabies. Everyone's gotten a lot of minutes on the field and played well. Not too many bad injuries, we hope. Here goes Fainga.
Anthony Fainga up to the halfway, and this time he can't link up with Samo. It's into touch. And so we'll have time for the line out. They take it quickly. No, they have to come back.
Quarterback throw.
Chris Latham holds the record for the most number of tries in a World Cup game. 5 for Australia.
Was that Namibia in Adelaide?
Yeah,
no.
2003. Drew Mitchell, Rocky Elsom, Lottie Tukiri and Matt Giddo have all scored hat-tricks, and so Adam Ashley Cooper moves on to that list as well. 4 tries in the first half to the Wallabies. 7 so far in the second. Time is up on the clock, and the USA win the line out. Alifa goes wide, great tackle, or who's gone down there?
Down. Anthony Fainga.
He didn't get up.
No, he's out. He got clipped in the head by the knee. He went low, as he always does.
Well, he hasn't moved, and unfortunately, it's been a night of concern for the Wallabies with so many injuries. And the referee wasn't going to allow play to go on. Look at it here.
We'll see it head on.
Oh, yeah.
In the side of the jaw, too. That's the worry.
Chris Wiles running. And finger just didn't get in the right position there. Threw himself into the defence, and, well, he hasn't moved. So our thoughts are with him.
Well, he came in to make the tackle. That's why his head was in the wrong posse. The worry is the knees hit him right in the side of the jaw.
Pat McCabe with a suspected shoulder injury.
Time up's on the clock, isn't it?
Yep. 53% possession for the USA. Not much in that stat. Turnovers 13 by Australia, 12 by the Eagles.
There's the stat. Without David Pocock, we don't win any of them. On another night with Pocock on there, there's a bad one. Handling errors. Wallabies tried a lot more than the Americans, I guess. But if Pocock was out there, there would have been half a dozen turnovers tonight.
An injury at any time in the match is never pleasant, but in the last minute is always very difficult.
Not a happy way to end it. I can't see where Fainga is, but I'm sure Anthony's twin would be particularly concerned. I guess he's in his suit in the grandstand somewhere. But it is a bit of a dampener for this crowd. Most of them are leaving, realising there's not going to be anything will happen here.
There's the reserves there.
Yeah, they're just all talking about what they reckon. There's Digby Ioane, got the cast off today. Look at that right hand.
Now, for the Fainga family, who I know some of them are in New Zealand following the Wallabies, for those at home, as Digby's sore thumb, I just saw Anthony moving his legs, which is always a signal to loved ones that he's coming to. Plenty of gold in the crowd, so more to cheer about tonight. And after this match, the Wallabies head to the South Island. I think they've got a trip planned to Christchurch, the home of Robbie Deans, showing a bit of moral support to our friends in the Canterbury region who've suffered so much through the earthquakes.
There's been a lot of love there lately. England team went there for a couple of days. New Zealand, I think, spent some time there, Clarkie. Now the Wallabies, as is fitting with Robbie Deans as your coach.
So it's Australia versus Russia in Nelson next Saturday. USA versus Italy in Nelson next Tuesday.
Yeah, they're on the screen, those two boys.
Will Genia, captain for the first time. And the Wallabies showing concern for their teammate. So 4 tries in the first half to 1 by the USA, 22 points to 5 at 67-5.
Here it is again, Clarkie. Watch him. See what's... Yeah, he's out. He's knocked out. It's nothing clear that it's not a neck problem, but it seems to be more the impact.
Cave, how, or did they signal to you how serious the McCabe one was? Is he a possible send home, or they didn't give you that indication?
Look, there's every indication that it will be. Team media manager there on screen, Matt McElroy, said to me he's going to have a check in the change rooms in a moment, and we'll get some news on that shortly. As soon as they get back in, he's going to come out and give us the update. Yeah. Because there are some medical concerns, but with the other two, he said Kurtley Beale and Cliff Parlow, they're not that concerned about. However, Pat McCabe really concerned. Suspected dislocated shoulder. So
can I suggest, I don't know if that's why you're asking the question, Kernsey, but you thinking maybe he doesn't get replaced by a centre? If there was someone who went home, who would you replace him with?
After 12 years of doing this job together, you're reading my mind.
Open side flanker? Phil Waugh, Bo Robinson or Matt Hodgson. We may as well speculate where we're waiting for we're watching the crowd go nutso.
Well, you know, obviously the way that Robbie's picked the team over the last little while, it's good to see Barrack over here.
Yeah, he's made the trip.
The World Cup, yeah.
They're not
Loves
really
his rugby.
Americans. They're local bogans dressed up as Americans.
But Robbie has picked Hodgson traditionally.
Well, the good news, Anthony Fainga's moving his arms and legs, as you mentioned before, Clarkie. There, he's come to now. He's appears to be all right.
It's a bad one.
It is a nasty one, yep.
2 tries for Anthony this evening as well, so his first double, his first tries ever.
I can tell you the players probably just want to get off the field now. They've been standing around for 5 minutes. They're all getting cold. Wallabies have seen so many injuries tonight. They'd just be hoping to have just get off. The referee said, I've got to play the scrum. The USA were in possession at that time, so he called it up. It'll be a USA scrum feed. Surely Kearnsey to be a gentleman's agreement from the packs and just say uncontested and kick it off and let's be done with it.
So applause here for Anthony Fainga, injured in the last minute of the match in regular time. And let's hope he's going to be okay after, no doubt, they will put him through plenty of testing.
Well, they take every precaution as they have to.
And Rod, while we've got this opportunity, are you happy with the progress tonight from the Wallabies coming off that loss last week, which was devastating?
Oh, look, there are certainly some good signs, Clarkie. I think you'd like to see a little bit more of a clinical performance from the Wallabies. It was very good. Some drop balls, some loose play early on. But by and large, I think we've seen, the emergence of Rob Horne played well. Berrick Barnes came on and has played well. The forward pack fronted up. They scrummaged well. There was no pressure on the scrum. They'll get a better test probably against Russia, who are quite a good scrummaging side. James Slipper did well on the loose head side of the scrum. Still concerns for me, obviously, with no Pocock out there and no open side. But aside from that, look, it's been a workmanlike performance from them.
Adam Ashley Cooper, man of the match for us, 3 tries. Phil, the forwards effort.
Yeah, I think it was solid without being brilliant. They're up against the US. It's not the US top team either. They're focusing on the Italian game. No Todd Clever out there to start with. But it was solid. It was strong, and I think they've achieved a lot. They've got a lot of blokes have been given a run, and I think they'll be reasonably happy.
So the final scrum of the match, and it's going to go straight into touch from Mike Petrie. Full time in this Pool C encounter at the Wellington Regional Stadium. And after leading by 22 points to 5 at the break, the Wallabies have beaten the USA by 67 points to 5. They scored 4 tries in the first half, 7 in the second half. As Adam Ashley Cooper got a hat-trick. Anthony Fainga, he got 2. Full time, Australia 67, USA 5. The 1 try to the Americans from Gaggiano, their South African-born number 8, scored a try down the short side in the first half. So the medical staff will be busy, no doubt about that. And I guess no disrespect to Russia, but at least they're going to be taking on another one of the second-tier nations next up.
Well, it gives another chance for a few other players to impress or to re-impress.
Yeah, I think re-impress is the important one. Horne will be given another chance. Drew Mitchell maybe will be given another chance. Adam Ashley Cooper may be rested, perhaps.
Berrick Barnes, yep.
Berrick will be given another chance, no doubt.
Samo, Horne, Elson Beale, McCabe, Mitchell, Fainga a double, and Adam Ashley Cooper 3 tries. So many players on the score sheet. Cooper 2 conversions. Barnes kicked 4 from 5. And Gaggiano the 1 try for the USA.
A few points left out there with goal kicking.
Yeah, 10 tries is a strong performance by any team. No doubt about that. They stuck to their game. They remained fairly disciplined. There was, maybe the odd 1 or 2 loose pass, but it wasn't people trying to score from every time they touched the ball, which we've seen a little bit of.
So many Aussies on tour. And asked to mention that Rick and Wendy Doran are on tour with the Aussies. 35th anniversary today, and they became engaged in Wellington all those years ago. So double celebrations. Congratulations to them as we're waiting for some reaction.